as if what you do makes a difference. It does. William James. Oh, wow. This honestly, when I was doing my quote research this week, this was one of the first ones I came across, and I connected with it immediately. It just felt really, really right, because sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm drowning. Nothing that I do matters. Nothing that I do can change anything. But I think when we focus maybe on too large of a scale, it can really seem overwhelming. And yes, a single person can affect the world, but we can all start by affecting, how we treat ourselves, and it matters what we do, and those around us, and our pets, and our friends and family, and our random humans we encounter along our days. I just think, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. It really does. Because, we talked about the ripple effect last week from our quote, and I think that this definitely has a similar meaning behind it, but I just like how simple it is. No metaphors, no nothing. Just act like it makes a difference, because it does. I love it. I love it very much. What you do matters. It does. So act like it matters, because it matters. And it can be in the most positive of ways. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of PositiviTea. This is the feel-good podcast where we give you good vibes by the spoonful. I am your host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan, and it is just lovely to be back in your earballs this week, my friends. I hope that you are all doing well. It's really, really great to be back. And about one of our announcements that we had last week with my rose garden tea being available at teaspectral.com, I just have to say thank you to everybody who ordered. Like, the sales, again, way overshot any kind of expectations that we had to the point where we had to do an emergency restock, because the tea is going to be permanently in the store. And we needed more emergency restock, but that's all set now. That's in there. Hopefully we have some to spare, but thank you to everybody that ordered. And if you loved it, you can keep ordering. And if you didn't order it right away, it's going to be there. It's going to be there. Honestly, just you listening to this podcast, which is totally free, or if you're watching it on YouTube, totally free, like just being here really, really makes a difference and is a huge way to support. And I really feel that love, I don't know if it's like the holidays or just taking time to reflect, but we'll get more to reflection later. Today, I want to tell you what tea I'm freaking drinking. I decided to go for something really, really cozy and familiar, no bells and whistles, nothing like super crazy. I found at a local grocery store this really, really beautiful loose leaf black tea from India. And oh my gosh, it is one of the punchiest teas I've ever tried. I think it's in Assam, but this is actually really good. The good old English way. I do it with a little almond milk and maple syrup, which is, I guess, my own spin on it. And also, friends, if you have not tried putting real maple syrup in your tea as a sweetener, oh my goodness gracious, it will change your freaking life. It's so good. It's so magical. It adds another level of like umami, kind of just, it's freaking delicious. So yeah, I just have that today. This is actually the cup I've been working on all day. I know how strong this tea is. This has to be stronger than your average cup of black tea, because I also drink it with milk, because then I actually am consuming less of the tea, because I can get over caffeinated from this self quite easily. And to make it cozier, I even have it in my warm and cozy mug, because yes. Alrighty, friends, moving on to our self-care experiment, which we are now making month-long endeavors. I realized I started our current self-care experiment in late November, so we are getting mayhaps an extra week or so on this self-care experiment, which is to balance and reevaluate. But you know what? I was thinking, hey, we'll just get an extra couple weeks out of this one, and then I already have the self-care experiment picked out to start in January, because I'd like to do it in calendar months, you know? It just makes it feel nice and round and goodness. So balance and reevaluate. This is in an attempt to balance. I've been working on specifically my professional life and make changes and then let it play out for a little while and then check back in with yourself. Is this actually working? So in my work life, I've talked about changes I've made, and I think as of right now, I'm at a pretty good place. Yes, the holidays are crazy and it's it's hard for me to say no to things, but I'm getting a lot better at it. Asking for help has gotten a lot easier, and I decided specifically to focus this week moving from my professional life to my personal life, and more so with my mental health, because I've made some really fantastic, wonderful strides applying this to my work life, and now it's it's a whole other ball game. I mean, yes, obviously you're checking in with yourself if it's related to work or something else, but this is really a how are you and what can we do to make it better. Some of you may know this. I recently, thank goodness, found a therapist. I had a few failed attempts this year to get in, or like half successes that just turned into a headache and this and that and the other thing. But I finally have someone, and they are freaking great. And it's once a week, which is wonderful. I am so glad and so fortunate that I can get in once a week because, seek help. You're worth it, my friends. I will throw in here again, just as a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional of any kind. If you are experiencing something that is affecting your everyday life and affecting your relationship with yourself and those around you, please seek help. You are so, so worth it. I myself am on medication for mental health purposes, and I also go to a therapist. I really believe in seeking professional attention, and don't feel like you are a burden, because you are not. You are absolutely worth it. And I know it can be a bit of a struggle sometimes, especially with talk therapy, but it is worth the climb up the mountain. I promise you. So now that we got that little disclaimer out of the way, so I've been finding once a week therapy, which only started a few weeks ago, to be amazing, really, really helpful. But I still feel like it's not enough. I have realized that there is a lot that I have there's a lot that I have to say and a lot of things that I'm remembering, because I struggle with suppressed memories from trauma. And now that all of that is coming up and everything, it just never feels like my appointments are long enough. And they're an hour long. Like, they should be enough, I guess, maybe, but they're just not. And I was thinking, I was like, what can I do about this? How can I continue the work that I'm doing much, much more consciously? Sure, there are certain tasks that I set to focus on after every appointment. I have a little bit of homework to do, etc., etc. But I really wanted to try checking in with myself as maybe a way to further the work that I'm doing for that 1 hour a week. And I decided to journal about it. I know journaling is something that is encouraged a lot, and I keep a lot of different journals, but mostly for creativity and scheduling purposes. So like, I have a voice acting notes journal. I have a YouTube and podcast journal. I have a tiny house planning journal, and I like to keep it separated like that. But as far as personal journaling, that is something I haven't done in a long, long time. And I like to keep it by my bed generally with some kind of writing utensil so I can scribble things in it in the middle of the night if I need to. And the last time I'd written in my journal before I did it the other day was, I think, over a month prior. So it was a thing I was like, yeah, I want to do this. And then life happens. But just from sitting down and journaling my thoughts as they happened, I came to like 3 major realizations that I realized I could do something about in that moment. And I was like, whoa, checking in with myself and trying to create balance, and even just being able to identify through writing. Because, I think all these thoughts are already in my brain. They're just not materialized enough at the forefront of my mind to be able to identify them and put them into action. It's just like this constant buzz of anxiety and whatnot. So just by writing them down, I was like, oh, I can do something about this. It was really, oh gosh, it felt really good. It felt really good. And I don't expect every time I sit down and, put pen to paper to be like that. Of course not. But just thinking of it in the mindset of picking something that I can kind of figure out that's bothering me and then just kind of word vomit about it onto a page is really helpful. So again, back to our self-care experiment, balance and reevaluate, just kind of getting everything out onto a piece of paper, or at least the things that are most prominent in my mind, and then looking at it, figuring out how I can achieve a balance. What are some things I can actively do now? Like one of them was sending a text message to a friend who I've been meaning to meet up with for the last 2 weeks, and then making those changes and then reevaluating. And of course, this is going to be a constant lifelong process, but I think it's really going to be worth it. I'm not going to lie. I was really nervous to jump into the self-care experiment at a personal level because I have a lot going on. And the more I go to therapy, the more I realize I have way the heck more going on than I thought that I even did. So yeah, this is proving to be really, really useful. And I love notebooks in general. I just love them. But it doesn't have to be anything fancy. The one I'm using right now, it's a bit of a smaller one, and I got it from the dollar store. And I was like, oh, this is cute. It has something inspirational on the front, and it has pink on it, and I love pink, and it just makes me feel good. And I like them to be hardcover and bound, not like wire bound, but actually bound. So that way, because I take my notebooks a lot of places with me, and I like them to be durable, so I can just throw them in a bag and they'll come out okay. Yeah, so that's where I am with that. Oh, putting those extra couple weeks on this self-care experiment to good use, I suppose. I will let you know how that goes. How is your self-care experiment with balance and reevaluating going for yourself? Please let me know. You can contact me on social media or in our Discord, and I'd love to hear how your journeys are going so far. Community news. Welcome back to Community News, one of the wonderful segments of this podcast where I reach out to you, the listeners, and I celebrate your general awesomeness, give you a little shout out. It is so almost overwhelmingly wonderful to hear your submissions from week to week. And I gotta say, I got a lot of submissions this week. I usually am desperate last minute. Oh my God, can I scrape 3 together? But I was like, oh my gosh, I almost wish I had a whole podcast just dedicated to community news. That would be really awesome. Oh, that's a freaking idea, isn't it? Anywho, I've narrowed it down to 3, and I am so thrilled to share these with you. So first is from Anne. This is actually my aunt from Facebook. And Anne says, the tree is decorated, the cookies are started, and I'm finding the Christmas spirit. Ho, ho, ho. You are a holiday wizard. Aunt Anne, this warms my heart. And I have to say, I've really been enjoying seeing your pictures and stuff that you've been posting about that. One thing that I love about my Aunt Anne is she not only seeks to find the joy in her own life, and she's always had this aura of joy around her, but she loves sharing that with other people. And I really, really love that. So I know the fact that you are making cookies, and wow, does she freaking make cookies and they're magical. But you know those cookies are going to be shared with just some of the most special people in her life, and that is going to affect them in a positive way. So it's not that just I'm excited that you are feeling the Christmas spirit, but because you are feeling the Christmas spirit, that is going to be treasured by those around you, even if it's just, from an Instagram post of a beautiful snowy landscape. So yay. I'm so glad that you're taking the time and putting the effort in to really feel that holiday spirit and Christmas cheer and all that really feel good stuff. This is perfect kind of news for this time of year, and I'm really happy to be able to celebrate that with you. So yay, you're a holiday festive wizard. Thanks for submitting, Aunt Ann. So moving on from Facebook to Discord, this one is from our PositiviTea chat, and this is from Lena, and Lena says, I got told the past few days that I helped people a lot with dealing with the stress from university and the upcoming exams, which made me really happy. Plus, someone in the group says that we are the main reason that he's happy he did not change universities. Oh, Lena, what a wonderful thing. I hope that your group, I assume it's some kind of a studying group at your university. And wow, just to think that having something where you come together to be productive in some kind of way can have that much of an effect on not just yourself, but the people around you, right? This goes back to our wonderful quote, act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. You make a difference. You are a changing university anxiety wizard. Not the most eloquent title, but certainly an important one. Good for you and those involved to take the initiative to make this group a thing at all. Like, that is really incredible that it just exists. And then opening it up to others and having them really feel benefited from that. Yeah, whoa. I wish I had something like this in university, because my anxiety was probably, it was at an all-time high, I think, especially around exams. So thank you. What you're doing is a gift to yourself and those around you, and I'm really happy to hear that they're expressing that to you. Keep going. You got this. You are slaying university. I'm so happy for you. Thank you. Thank you so much for submitting. And this next one is also from Discord, from Neff, and they say, my health issues seem to clear up quickly. I'm feeling wonderful and have been able to work on myself a lot and become happier with who I am as a person with all my time off of work. Going through a lot of stuff lately, but I'm in a better place mentally and physically than I've been in a very long time. Oh, Neff, you are a wellness freaking wizard. That's what I'm talking about. Taking that time to put it into yourself. You are always worth the investment. Can I just say that? You are always worth the investment. And I understand financially that is very difficult, myself included, but especially time. You are worth the investment with your time. And I'm so, so glad that you prioritized yourself, with that time off of work. And your health issues seem to clear up quickly, which is just so wonderful. Love and light and positivity to you, feeling better, and to be able to reflect back on that and realize that you're in a place where you certainly did not used to be is a really wonderful, magical thing. I wish you continued support and love on this journey, because, it is a lifelong one, but it makes my heart so happy to hear that you are improving and you are happy and healthy. And that is just magical. I'm so proud of you. Keep up the wonderful, wonderful work. Good news, everyone! I have good news. Welcome to the last segment of our podcast for today. Good news, where I dive into the depths of the interwebs to find you some kind of good news article. Again, it is important to stay informed of the happenings in the world, but it is more important to be a functioning human being. So I am here for you to put a little bit of extra sunshine in your day. And this article is very relevant to the current times, and I am really excited to share. So, a woman left out snacks for delivery drivers, and one had the cutest reaction. So the holiday season is notoriously difficult for those in the delivery profession, whether they are warehouse workers or delivery persons. And this woman named Kathy put out a little basket of different drinks and snacks and all sorts of stuff outside her door. So that way, when someone comes to deliver a package, she left a little note for them, like, please take it, that kind of stuff. And she has a doorbell cam, actually, that was able to capture some of the reactions of people actually seeing it, discovering it, delivering packages. And one person in particular was really overjoyed, saying things like, oh, this is nice. Oh, this is sweet. And actually literally dancing off of the porch away. I freaking love this article so very much. It shows, a couple of extra packs of water bottles and some snacks that you put out. It seems like a really small thing. It seems like such a small thing, but it can make a huge difference. She just made that person's day. You go, Kathy. Just putting in the little itty bit of extra effort to consider others, to think of them, to say, hey, thanks for being awesome. Wow. I love stuff like this. It makes a difference. Again, going back to our quote, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. It absolutely does. And as this little story has gotten some more media attention, it's inspiring other people to do the same, which is amazing. I can't even imagine working for some kind of like warehouse delivery service around this time of year. It must be absolute chaos. I am definitely going to try this. Practicing kindness. Oh, wow. We had a story a few weeks ago about the kindness squad at an elementary school. And in class, they practice random acts of kindness, or they pull positivity pranks where they randomly give someone a compliment or a piece of candy. These things make a difference. And the more you do it, the more you'll realize how fluff and wonderful it feels. And the more you'll want to spread joy. And I challenge you, listener humans, maybe you're not in a situation where you can do something like this specifically, like leave out snacks and such. But what is something that you can do in your day that will show someone that you don't even know, whether it's someone at the grocery checkout line or someone that delivers your pizza or the restaurant worker that is dropping off your drink or, whatever it may be. What is something extra special that you can do for them to show you how much you appreciate the hard work that you can do? And it doesn't have to be money. It can be snacks. It can be just a really genuine thank you or a compliment or some kind of expression of gratitude, all of this stuff. And by spreading it in this way, I don't want to say especially this time of year, but I do know as someone myself who has been in the service industry for quite a few years, that it is particularly difficult, especially for delivery, retail, restaurant, etc., the general service industry, just because it's busier, the number of people that you're interacting with goes way, way up, and it can be very stressful. And even something like just a genuine thank you or expression of gratitude, whatever that is, can really make a huge difference, especially amidst all the chaos. So, what is something that you can do to brighten someone's day? Maybe it's doing the little goodie bags or whatnot for your package delivery persons, or maybe something else. I would love to hear what you're gonna do, especially this time of year. Well, there you go. I said it. I would love to hear your ideas, and then maybe we can find other ways from other humans to practice this and spread it. And what's that quote again? Act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. Yeah, it really, really does. So that is it, my loves, for the podcast today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I love carving out this little slice of goodness and warmth and positivity. Ew. For all of you every week. Thank you for being here. Like I said, and a simple expression of gratitude is just the fact that you're listening or watching or whatnot. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to hear the wonderful things happening in your lives. And I just, so much love to you. Again, you can reach out to me on social media whenever, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Twitch, whatever it happens to be. I'd love to hear from you. And last and most important of all, I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next tea party. This podcast is lovingly produced, directed, written, and created by yours truly, Miss Mary Lou Ryan. Our music was composed and performed by Jacob Kahn. Our logo designed by Hilda Meyer Post. And if you'd like to spread a little positivity into the universe, I would love wherever you are tea partying with us to spread the words with those who could use a little cheer in their cuppa. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.